Good morning, welcome to the CapEx Limited Results Investor Presentation. Throughout this recorded meeting, investors will be in listen-only mode. Questions can be submitted at any time by the Q&A tab situated in the right-hand corner of your screen. Just simply type in your question and press send. The company may not be in a position to answer every question received during the meeting itself, however, they can review all questions submitted and publish responses where appropriate to do so. Before we begin, we'd like to submit the following poll. I'd now like to hand you over to Lars Stegmann, CEO. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, dear investors. Good morning to this presentation. My name is Lars Stegmann. I'm the CEO of CapEx and delighted that so many investors joined this call. With me today, it's Tony Guarna, who is our interim CFO at CapEx. So I will skip this disclaimer. You can see this later on YouTube, and would like to walk you through our content, which covers the highlight of fiscal year 2025, explain and give you the latest update from the distribution network and our partnership with Shorter, gives you an insight of our products, application and market, latest update, manufacturing and our system integration. Then I will hand over to Tony, and Tony leads you through all the financial highlights from fiscal year 2025. And in the end, I will summarize this presentation. So I'm happy to highlight our financial figures here from my point of view, as fiscal year 2025 was a year of both transformation and disciplined execution for CapEx. So while global economic conditions remain challenging, we as CapEx had been able to navigate through this environment with agility and with focus, and this is important. After fiscal year 2024, with a growth in revenue, we are able to show you another year with a growth of 8% in fiscal year 2025, with a revenue up to close 5 million Australian dollars. So strong booking and billings, which leads us to the book-to-bill rates with 1.2, which is a great number for fiscal year 2025. For the current trading, so this is the 4 first months in this fiscal year of 2026, we are up in the revenue already with 12%. In bookings, even twice with 25%. This gives us a good runway and a confidence for fiscal year 2026. Cash on hand, 1.5 million Australian dollars. No debt, so means debt-free, and applied for R&D tax credit with Australian dollars 1.8 million, which sums up to Australian dollars 3.3 million in cash. Coming to the operational updates, we are happy to announce and inform you about the successful implementation. This is important, about the warehouse management system, our customer relation management system, and we integrate this successfully in our MOIB system, which are not used fully in the past. So with this software setup combined with Microsoft Power BI, we are able to get real-time reporting anywhere in the world at any time with a fingertip. This helps us at CapEx to improve our operational performance. On the manufacturing side, we announced that we are happy to have a new operational manager on board who has and bring a huge experience with this kind of production machinery, as well, and this is more important, with production machineries for SMT, surface mount technology products. So already we see an optimized output in 7 Hills, which we reduce our lead time to our customer in the market. And this helps to build trust and our relationship to the end customer and distribution partners. If you follow us on LinkedIn, you know and saw that we have a new image, a new website, and this shows the transformation process of CapEx, where we went through the last couple of months since I started in 2023. So on this product landscape, you see today 4 product lines. It's based on 1 technology, but gives us and our OEMs, as well as our distribution partners and our partners like Schurter, endless possibilities for design in. In the future, so next time, we will present you the fifth family, which is the surface mount technology. So we have a wide range of products where we go to the market. On the distribution landscape, you remember maybe from last time, the pyramid where we show and explained all levels we are playing with. It's important that CapEx plays the whole piano. We need to have access in any kind of levels. And one important milestone was the signing and the trust from Waldem Electronics, where we're able to serve the market as a master distributor. So we are able to drill down from the top and serve all three levels through Waldem in this case. In parallel, we did a great homework and could sign a contract with Farnell, which is part of FNET, as well as with RS Component on the baseline. We expand the base on this pyramid. You may know RS Components in the UK from the AIM market as well. But all this helps us to get a better access closer to our customers and gain new projects in the market. On our partnership with Schurter, you are well informed through LinkedIn that we signed the contract with a commercial and engineering contract. So all this is done. So this is a base. We had been happy to invite Lars Brickenkamp as a CEO of Schurter in Sydney in July 2025. On top of these, we had been invited, so Dr. Graham Cooley and myself had been invited to Lucerne in Switzerland, where we discuss the latest development and we discuss the latest test results of the surface mount technology development. All this helps us to establish a go-to-market together. And all this, and this also announced on LinkedIn, helps to start to build a strong project pipeline together to serve the market. On the product itself, I mentioned before, surface mount technology is a new product which will come. It's reflow oven ready. And this is a huge improvement for our customers. So the customer is able to pick and place fully automatic our product and place it on their PCB board and run this through the soldering oven process. This helps to reduce production times. This helps to reduce costs and makes CapEx as a manufacturer, as a supplier, more interesting for the industrial market. With this kind of production line for SMT product itself, we are able, as CapEx, to scale the production more easily and expand this kind of production worldwide. This is important if you remember about the current tariff discussions worldwide, and helps us to avoid and navigate through this environment quickly. For the market segment, you remember I showed you as of today, we have 4 segments. In fiscal year 2026, we are happy to add another segment as well as the surface mount technologies, or the 5th one. So with this strategy, we avoid to have one single product to one single market. It's a totally risk balanced sales pipeline we are working on, we are built with, and we focus on 4 markets especially. It's a mobile devices, it's industry devices and IoT. New, it's aerospace and defense because of the current situation, as well as healthcare, where we are working since a while of years on, and we continue with it. All this is to reduce the production risk. On the manufacturing side, you may remember this slide. We didn't change this too much, but I would like to emphasize our certification process on 9001 and 14001. On top of this, we start the digitalization process in this manufacturing. So each machine has a PLC drive. We can able to read out any data and bring these into our data PL system and our new system and work through. So all this helps us to get a better control of our manufacturing and a better, let's say, automated control and run these more automated under our control. By side of Seven Hills, we integrate also our Asian partner in Malaysia on the same system, which gives us a wider access and integrates them into our system. This gives you a real snapshot on the real-time sales report we are able to work with now. So this screenshot was taken last week. However, it gives you an overview about the backlog, booking, and billings. And the next step, you're able to drill down all figures down to customers, even to the product line, even to the bill of materials. And this helps us to keep our cost under control. Cost for raw material, cost for handling, cost for operations. All this in this kind of system is totally transparent and totally, let's say, under control. With this, I would like to hand over to Tony for the financial highlights. Tony, over to you.
Thank you, Lars. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this CapEx investor presentation, and it's nice to meet you for the first time. My name is Tony Warner, and you may recall, back in the beginning of June, I was appointed the interim CFO, and I'm very delighted with my experience at CapEx thus far. And let me tell you, I've been very busy with the audit. That's completed, and now we're moving on to the next stage. Today, it's my pleasure to present to you the financial highlights from the 2025 Audited Annual Report for CapEx Limited, which was released last Friday morning. So let's just go to the next slide. Yep, there it is. Beautiful. Okay, these are the results that you have already seen. And let me run through a few of the more important headlines. Let's begin with revenue. As Lars said earlier, CapEx and the whole global industry has gone through a difficult time over the last 3 years. But pleasing, CapEx revenue has increased by 7.6% over the 2024 numbers. And as can be seen from the chart on the screen, revenue has been moving upwards over the last 3 years. We are delighted to see this positive increase in the top line, where many other companies across the globe have seen flat or reduced top line numbers. Our margins have remained strong at 29.7%. But what's key from these results is that our cost control activities and company-wide transformations have resulted in our loss and EBITDA loss being significantly reduced this FY25. This is a significant result. FY25 was our operations transformational year, where we strive for manufacturing excellence, implemented Cree software to overseas manufacturing to drive profitability, and provide real-time data, as Lars mentioned before. And the results from these activities are starting to show up now, with improvements, or should I say, a reduced EBITDA loss of 40.5% from FY24, and an after-tax loss reduction of 36%. These are fantastic results, and there's more to come in FY26. At the end of June, we had 4 million in cash, no debt, our systems are ready, and our inventory holding were at historical lows. So let's look at revenue. On this slide, you can see the global revenue profile from 2023 to this current year, FY25, which we've just now finished. And our gradual shift from heavy European reliance to now in FY25, where you'll note a more even balance between APAC and European revenue. And the revenue from the Americas has also increased in FY25. In FY25, we made a number of RNS announcements regarding our strengthening distributor relationships, the upside of which will flow into this current financial year and beyond. Now, as we've completed 4 months into FY26 financial year, I'm pleased to share that our bookings and billings are both up. Our bookings have increased by 25% over the same period in FY25, and our billings are up already 12%. And we already have a backlog of 2.7 million. These last 4 months have moved very quickly for me. The business has invested in materials, stocking up to meet this demand, and consequently our cash after 4 months stands at 1.5 million. And it needs to be understood in this context. But I want to point out that we have an additional 1.8 million expected to be banked from our R&D claim before the end of this calendar year. That brings us to a total of 3.3 million. Next slide. Oh, I like this slide as it shows that CapTech is doing the right things. The orange bars are increasing. That's our revenue. It's going up. Perfect. The blue bar is our loss, and it's reducing. So these two critical financial metrics are trending in the right direction, and we are heading towards a positive cash flow. The board and management of CapEx are feeling very confident about our financial direction. This brings me to this bridge slide, which shows improved cash stewardship. We raised capital in FY25. We managed to reduce our net operating outflows when compared to FY24. It's down to 3.6 million. We've invested in CapEx. We've had some historical supplier payments. At the end of 30th of June, we had $4 million in cash. On this slide, you will see in the third bar, a 1.3 as R&D tax credit. That was received in FY25 and should not be confused with the 1.8 million that I've mentioned previously as a tax refund. That's about to come through at the end of this calendar year. So let's look at what's happened financially over the last 4 months after 30th of June. Our bookings and our billings are both up compared to the same time in FY25. We've invested in inventory, which at 30th of June was at its historical low for the company. We now have 1.5 in the bank, and we expect a further 1.8 to come in before the end of this calendar year. So after having already invested in inventory, that brings us to 3.3 million cash resources for FY26. So thank you, everyone, and thank you. And I'd like to pass back to Lars to summarise and close.
Thanks, Tony. Thanks. Good job. And I would like to summarize here. One moment. I need to get you to another slide here to summarize our presentation. You saw we made our homework. You asked to improve CapEx and operational process, to improve revenue, and we delivered in 2025. So we improved our system with a new setup and with a new installation of this kind of complex system. And this is thanks to tireless work of our team in Australia. It's not easy. Other customers, other companies, also our customers, needs more than 12 months easily to implement such a complex system. We had been able to manage this during the fiscal year 2025. And this is important to keep our cost and our operational lead under control, under better control. So all these have a direct impact on the improvements of our operation, and all this leads us to a positive margin and even in the end to the positive EBITDA. So by side of this homework, we strengthened our partnership on the distribution side with Waldem Electronics as a master distributor, with Farnell, which is part of the FNET group, and with RS Components you may know from the AIM market. So all these partnerships are strong and delivers revenue inside of CapEx. Of course, this also needs time. It's not tomorrow, but step by step, as I like to say, we need to respect the kind of development development here and in this market. But with all these setups, we are confident to show you further growth by side of any kind of challenging backdrop we see on the global political landscape, right? On these figures we showed you with a 12% up during the first 4 months, and even twice on the bookings with 25%. We are very positive with the start in fiscal year 2026. This gives me now the opportunity to thank you for your audience, to thank you for your patience and time. And with all this great news, we are happy to take further questions from your side.
Fantastic. Thank you very much indeed for your presentation. We'll take a few moments to review those questions submitted today. I'd like to remind you that recording the presentation along with a copy of the slides and the published Q&A. The company did receive a large number of questions from shareholders regarding the audited results to June 2025, many of which relate to the company's strategies. To address these effectively, the company grouped these questions into 6 key themes. So I think perhaps the first area is for you, Tony, really focusing on the financial performance, cash burn, profitability. We've had a number of questions in as well. Steen, Adrian, Kieran, thank you, Steve, for your questions. Looking at that cash runway as well and incorporating those, if I may just hand over to you on that.
Thank you for all your questions about the finances. I've seen them as they're coming through. There's a general flavour in the questions, wondering how the company will move from where we are now to becoming profitable. I don't have a crystal ball, but what I can tell you, if you can remember or throw your mind back to an earlier slide that I was talking about the revenue increasing, the loss decreasing, that's a telling slide. You know, our revenue is increasing and our loss is decreasing. We're getting closer and closer to break even. So our operations transformation year was last year, and we will continue to make improvements in that area. We have implemented critical software to oversee our manufacturing to drive profitability. We have real-time data now available to us. I can now see at any point in time, anywhere I am, what's going on with our production, with our gross margin on a particular line that's coming through. We've invested in our materials already. We've gone out and bought our materials because we've got such a big run rate, I guess you could say, a big sales pipeline that's built up. Our sales are continually increasing. Our sales pipeline is very strong. All these are moving in the right directions. Lars and sales team are driving sales. The operations, they're fulfilling. I don't recall, but we've also got a new operations manager, very experienced gentleman who's working out at Seven Hills with me. We have a strong margin of 30%. I believe we will approach profitability. I just can't tell you exactly when, but we will. Everything's moving in the right direction. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you very much indeed, Tony. Perhaps more one for you here, Lars. Questions around partnership, collaboration, particularly with Schurter, and how that fits together, please.
Yeah, thanks. It's a good question, and you may saw on our distribution landscape as well as with our partnership with Schurter, it all goes in the right direction, right? So we strengthen this partnership, especially with Schurter, and we and collaborate here with and exchange test data on the surface mount technology and further development to gain into the market like aerospace or defense together. And all these shows a great success, and it underlines our way of strategy and how we want to gain to the market. So to answer this question, partnerships and collaboration are in line. So it's on our expectation, and we further proceed and develop these and strengthen these during the next couple of months and years. Thank you.
Thank you, Lars. Next area we've got here is Walden's a master distributor. What does this mean? We've had a couple of other questions around that as well. Stocks at distributors, are the products paid already or paid for after sales by the distributors? How does that fit together?
Good question. The master distributor means Walden, as a master distributor, serve only the distribution channel. They don't have any access, they don't have any interest to serve end customers in the markets in our industry. So they focus, their clients are other distributors. And this helps us to serve this kind of pyramid. If you remember this pyramid from the top down, with all these kinds of equipment, even with to distributors, we may not have a contract today. However, they need to ask us before we will or they will check any goods to these kind of new partners. But however, this is a very great expansion, and this top-down serving, as well as we expand our baseline with Farnell and RS Component, gives us a wider access to the customer base. So this all helps us to be closer to the customer, to have local stock in different regions, shorten our lead time, and be, let's say, immediately available on the desk on any kind of engineers or any kind of universities or customers.
Thanks, Lars. Next set of questions we've got really relate to product development and commercialization. We've had a couple of questions as well. If you can perhaps weave those in. Manufacturing close to optimal output. Please define optimal in industrial standards. Chris, thank you for your question, and Peter as well. Is the SMT CapEx Super Cap Tech reflow oven now 100% proven? Is further testing required? And where will the production of SMT be based, please? And when will SMT be commercially produced for sale? So a few questions around that, and just touching again, SMT products is CapEx the only manufacturer. So happy to repeat some of those out, Lars, but if you could just give a flavor around that product development and commercialization.
Yeah, happy to take this question. The product development is totally in line. Doesn't matter if it is SMT, DMH, DMV, and other products. So we are totally in line. We are in production with the DMV, is the 3-volt version. We are able to provide a DMH if necessary, and the SMT we are able to get the next step and milestones we need to proceed. All these are in our expectation and our timeline, and there's no headache or nothing which could hold us back here. On the SMT product, we are most likely the first one as a manufacturer as of today, for our knowledge, who provide this kind of product with this kind of capacitor in the supercapacitor market as of today, and this makes us very unique to serve the market.
Fantastic, thank you very much indeed. Question here, perhaps one for Tony. Why isn't the AGM in London?
Okay. Well, I guess the short answer is the whole business is domiciled in Australia. We have our main plant here in Australia, our finance, our administration, our operations, all in Australia. Whilst our company has shareholders that are diverse geographically in Australia, New Zealand, America, and of course the UK, we domiciled here. It makes sense to hold the AGM here in Australia, but we've tried to accommodate the various time zones. For example, here in Sydney, Australia, where I am, it's currently 9:29, so 9:30 p.m. on Monday night. I'm sure Lars is in a different time zone, and UK persons are in different time zone. We're trying to accommodate everyone. Does that help?
Fantastic, Tony, thank you. Got some questions as well, perhaps for you, Lars, around licensing strategy, business model and the like, some of the partners, some of the groups that you're working with. If you could just talk around that and just give a little bit more colour on that, I think that'll cover off a number of the questions we've got around those areas.
A good question. As everyone hopefully remember, as I started in 2023 to lead CapEx and transform this company, one of the main aim was to stop the licensing module in our market. It does not work in the industrial component market. It's hard to track any kind of number. So simply the best was to get out and stop this licensing model. It also helped to close us any kind of legal cases. So no, we since my started, we focus on product sales, product development, which it's in our hand, it's in our capability. We built a strong sales network. We saw that in the distribution landscape. We built a strong partnership with Shorter. They have their own distribution channels. They have their own sales force in the market. And all this helps to establish CapEx in this market. And this is our strategy, right? The product sales to expand our product line. You saw, remember, this one slide with the 4 products. In fiscal year 2026, you will see 5 products. So there's an add-on here with a new technology. I mean, it's the same technology, but it's a new, let's say, kind of application. And all this helps to build our business model in a successful way.
That's great. Thanks, Lars. And really sort of the final area, I can see we've got questions through, patents and IP. You kind of touched on it there with the business model. Where does that sit? How's that helping you move forward?
Yeah, good question. Also here, we are on the track. We are on the way. Let's say we don't let you know everything about each improvement on patent sides. We need to be very careful here. Our competition is on our neck. They look and analyze our patent side. So if we announce too much too early, they are able to influence this patent application in a negative way. And then we are not able to apply anymore. So, however, we are heavily interested to keep our patents up to date. As said, we are on track in our timeline. We are heavily interested to keep our IP rights protected. And this is more important for CapEx Insight because the IP rights are kind of, let's say, capital. So, but you will understand that a lot of information are confidential, not able to discuss on this platform. And I can't tell you too much on this in detail here.
We've got a question as well here from Kieran. Are you happy keeping your listing on AIM?
Once more, I didn't hear.
Are you happy keeping your listing on the AIM market?
Well, the AIM market is challenging. You see that by your own, you're right. What we main aim is to need to get the cornerstone investors, long-term investors on our side, less short sellers or less, let's say, the gambling. However, as of today, we are happy and we won't, there's no plan to change this at the moment.
Fantastic. Lars and Tony, thank you for covering those questions you can from investors. I think we've covered off those themes that we've got through there. Perhaps before redirecting investors to provide you with their feedback, which is particularly important to you and the team, Lars, if I just ask for a few closing comments, please.
Yeah, first of all, I would like to thank you for your audience and spend your time with us this morning here. And thanks to Tony to stay awake a little bit longer. To participate this call, and with all the great news, the only thing I would like to ask you to stay tuned and constantly we will keep you an update on LinkedIn. Follow us on LinkedIn as promised. We try to be as transparent as possible, and hopefully we answered all open questions you asked through this meeting and even beyond. If you have any other questions, please feel free. If you don't reach us directly, go through LMB and ask for further question, and we are happy to answer that question which we are able and allowed to answer. But please keep in mind, a lot of information are confidential, and we need to keep and tell you, let's say, moderate answers as always.
Fantastic. Last, Tony, look, thank you for updating investors today. Can I please ask investors not to close the session? You should now be automatically redirected to provide your feedback in order the team can better understand your views and expectations. This will only take a few moments to complete and is greatly valued by the company. On behalf of the management team of CapEx Limited, I'd like to thank you for attending today's presentation. Concludes today's session, and good morning to you all.